All right, we are in the car today because Helene has taken our power out. We are still without power at our home. Decided it was time to hit the road. I'm pretty far away from home, actually, trying to get some internet service. I finally got it on my cell phone, and that's the problem, right, in the mountains right now, and in many areas that have been devastated by Helene along the coast here, from Florida up into Georgia, up into the Carolinas, again, Virginia, West Virginia, North and South Carolina. It's been the lack of power and also communication. So that's an issue. Places like Asheville have been cut off completely as I-26 and I-40 have just been decimated. So yeah, it's been absolutely nuts out there. And, I was out today and someone's already asking, I heard there's another one coming. And, the thing about this next one potentially that may come next weekend is the upper level pattern is not what it was during this last storm. That's why I'm telling you, I took heat from it here on YouTube. People saying, oh, what do you mean this is historic? This is unlike any other. What kind of was? You had an upper low here that just pulled Helene up like this. You don't really have that with the next setup, at least I think at this point. But we're going to talk about that. And yes, the National Hurricane Center is watching this area over the next couple of days for the potential for some development here. Here's what's left over of Helene. Not really a tropical system by any stretch. Now we're just dealing with an upper low. Definitely some tropical moisture on this side of our low. There is the potential for some flooding as we see that upslope flow here across parts of the Virginia and West Virginia mountains. And I think anywhere where we picked up rain, you've got to keep an eye to the sky, keep an eye to the radar. It won't take much to aggravate flooding with the ground as saturated as it is in these areas, seeing over 15, 20 inches of rain in some cases. All right, let's take you through the rest of the week in the upper levels. We've got this decent trough here that's swinging through the northern plains. That really isn't going to do much. It's not going to drop to the south very, very far. If anything, our zonal flow stays up here. That's our jet stream. We will be looking again to the tropics as we head toward the end of this week to see what develops. But what we're not seeing is the upper level pattern repeating itself compared to last week. What I think will be the thing to watch, though, will be this obvious trough that tries to swing through sometime as we get something developing here. Does that pull it north? I think that might be the question. Does it do more like this, though? I think it doesn't look like last time where you had your cutoff low here pulling the storm in like this. So because of that, I think things may play out quite differently. So stay tuned. It's something I'll be tracking this week. Let's take a look at the precipitation. First, I want to start here, though. Look at these showers. This is that upper low that's spinning here. I talked about these heavy downpours possible in the Appalachians all the way north into northern Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland, too. The rain maybe not as heavy here as what we had seen across areas to your south and west, but still some decent showers. This is tropical moisture in your flow here, really perpendicular to the mountains. Flood watches are out in these areas. Weather.gov is what you need to monitor for the latest warnings and updates in your area. But yeah, at least there seems to be some relief here across parts of North Carolina, Tennessee, North Georgia. But unfortunately here into parts of Virginia, West Virginia, maybe even arguably parts of North Carolina, we may see some more showers over the next couple of days, something that we really don't need to see. That will start to eventually move out. High pressure here starts to build in at the surface. That will dry us out. Skies should clear up really from the middle to the end of the week. Things look really dry here. And then we're watching something here across the tropics. What happens here? I think there's a lot of questions. Do we see something develop? Notice how the flow really is up in this area. The latest GFS tries to develop a hurricane here somewhere near the coast and just kind of meander it, look back to the west if anything, and then it gets caught up into the westerlies here and gets pulled northeast. If you go back, say, to last night's run, this would be the overnight run from the GFS, a little bit of a different story. However, it does slow that forward motion. Maybe somewhat like the last storm, but a little bit different. Again, I don't get caught up in each model run to run. It's just something that needs watched for sure heading into the end of the week. I think that's when details will get fine-tuned. Rain could be heavy at times into the mountains. Again, those flood watches are out. This is the actual forecast for rain totals. Some places could get 2, 3, 4, maybe even up to 6 inches in the highest elevations here in parts of Virginia and West Virginia, from the Shenandoah Valley west into the mountains of West Virginia. And again, the NAM shows that eventually clearing up and moving out as our front back here moves through. That's when high pressure will build in by Wednesday and Thursday. Across the west, there is a disturbance moving through. That'll bring some snow here and some rain, and then we start to see some drying conditions. And then our next system skips through the Pacific Northwest as we head through next week. That's all I got. See you next time.